Hey friends, welcome to Village Trails. It was just 12 noon, and with plenty of day left, I thought let's explore a new route which will almost take me close to Lonavala and then via the Morgiri Fort Road, join back at Wagheshwar, and then take the usual route via Kolvan back to Hinjewadi. By the way, see how beautiful the place looks, which we had visited just a while ago. We are on the hill opposite to this place. It's such a nice view from here. When I set the map to return home, I wasn't aware that there could be a much shorter route too, which I later found out, which is via Shilimb. It's mostly for bike and not a car, and since my map was set to car mode, that route didn't show up as an option. Nonetheless, we had set a route, target was around 100 kilometers of ride, and here we are already on it. Again, just like earlier, this is a route where there would be no one except you and your machine, and the dense vegetation on both sides of the road. The road is good, but not as good as the one we had earlier, and I guess the reason being the heavy rainfall that would be washing away the top layer every year. So we are Set on the first waypoint, which is somewhere near the village Kolawali, which is towards east of the Amby Valley City. Near around the Amby Valley Gate, the road becomes into a wider one and much more comfortable to ride along. Now I'm taking the route towards Wagheshwar, which passes through Morve and Chavsar villages. There's this Morgiri Fort and the Tung Fort along the way, and again a narrow road. I stopped by at a local shop and was told that the road is really in great condition. Last time we had been here, it was quite in a bad shape, and that was about a couple of years ago, in the month of May, when we had visited the Koraigad Fort. Well, that was one hell of an experience as we three were the only humans on that day trekking that fort. Though it was daytime, it was a far scary experience, especially when you know with a radius of 5 kilometer there is no one around and it's a dense forest all around that fort. To add to it, we had three incidents that shook us to the core. The first was all through the climb up and down, we had a female dog which appeared from nowhere, join us, and after an hour we had reached the base of the fort. There was a loud noise at a distance in the trees. Besides, monkeys were heard, and we heard a lot of cry of the birds as well, as if something was totally unsettled. The dog, wasting no time, had dashed off as it had sensed some danger. We, realizing it's a signal to hurry towards the village. While we were walking briskly, we were shocked a hell once again when a loud noise of something crashing on the dry leaves beneath the trees was heard. When we looked back, we saw a big snake, almost 8 to 10 feet long, had fallen off the tree. Wow, that moment was relieving, but that brisk walk almost now had turned into a sprint. The third incident was even scarier, as the next day I was told that while we were walking through the dense forest, around about 300 to 400 meter path, my family had heard some sound which was more like following us along. It wasn't clear if that sound was of a rattlesnake or some bangles or ornaments, but that was a shocker at its peak. Each time we travel, we try to take sufficient care to evaluate the place, the surroundings, and then proceed. That Koraigad Fort experience taught us more. By the way, it seems the DJI mic battery has already died a while ago, and now the camera battery too is below 5%. Just wanted to quickly summarize what happened on the mileage front. This week, we again had about 100 kilometers of ride through the city as daily commute, and then today's 132 kilometer added to it, making the same number like last week, total 232 kilometers. The fuel when topped up read 9.2 liters, and now we are looking at an average of 25.21 kilometers per liter. That is given because if you see this entire ride, almost 90% of it has been in the 20s and 30s, mostly in second and third gears. Honestly, I think the bike has really done great and the average is quite justified. I'll try some highway rides as I promised and come back with some numbers in my next vlog. Until then, ride safe. See you next time.